Hey everyone, welcome back to Alpha Insights. I'm Harper.
And I'm Brittany. Great to have you with us today.
And hey, if you have questions while you're listening, drop them at stockalpha.ai. We check those live.
Okay, so quick snapshot. The cannabis space had a mixed policy day. Big setback in Florida, some wins in other states, and even an interesting psychedelics research note that popped up.
Right. The headline for most investors is that Florida won't have that legalization measure on next year's ballot, which removes a pretty big near-term growth opportunity for operators betting on that market.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised by this one.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, the real question here is how much this reshapes expectations for companies with heavy Florida exposure versus more diversified operators.
Exactly. On the downside, companies like Trulieve and Green Thumb, both of which have notable footprints in Florida, are going to face more scrutiny from investors. But on the flip side, Curaleaf and Tilray, which are more diversified, might weather this better. And don't forget the MSOS Sector ETF. That's still the go-to gauge for broad investor sentiment in cannabis. Watch its flows and volume for early signs of how traders are reacting.
Big picture. The court decision in Florida pulls a clear near-term revenue runway off the table. That matters for capital plans, store rollouts, and merger deals that were contingent on fast market growth there.
Right. And to add to that, there were smaller but tangible policy moves elsewhere. Arizona passed a smoke protections bill, and Colorado is allowing medical marijuana in hospitals. Those are incremental wins for patient access and operations.
I mean, when you look at the data, incremental state progress like that can help offset some bad headlines. It doesn't replace a big statewide adult use market, but it keeps the policy trend from being uniformly negative.
One more wild card. There was a study flag about psilocybin helping people quit smoking. It's not directly revenue-driving for cannabis, but it fuels investor interest in therapeutic psychedelics and the broader adjacent markets.
That research angle matters because it keeps the narrative of medical uses and scientific validation alive, which can attract a different set of long-term investors.
Okay, practical checklist for listeners. Watch legal appeals and deadlines in Florida. Campaign filings could change the timeline. Also, follow state legislative sessions in Arizona and Colorado for implementation details.
An earnings season is coming up for some of these operators. Listen for management commentary on Florida exposure and capital deployment plans. Are they expansion, conserving cash, or looking for deals?
Mergers and acquisitions could slow, or they could shift to opportunistic buys if weaker competitors need capital. Keep an eye on balance sheets before making any moves.
Short reactions. Remember, review your time horizon, check diversification, and don't panic sell just because of one state ruling.
Right.
If you do hold names with Florida risk, look at management guidance and cash position. Those details will tell you whether a company can ride out a longer ballot delay or needs to rethink strategy.
Quick investor signal. Daily trading volume and inflows into the MSOS Sector ETF will show whether sentiment is shifting more broadly or if this is a state-specific reprice.
To wrap up, Florida's ballot block is a real setback for short-term growth expectations. But state-level wins and therapeutic research keep parts of the story constructive.
Exactly. So temper expectations for rapid expansion in Florida, watch state rollouts and company guidance, and use the MSOS ETF flows as a barometer of investor appetite.
Key takeaways together. Legal and regulatory moves still drive this sector. Diversification matters. And watch earnings and ETF flows for the next clues.
Got questions? We'd love to hear from you. Head over to stockalpha.ai, where you can ask us anything and we'll answer live. And while you're there, check out more market content.